Part 1: The Perfect House. When we walked through that house the first time, we knew this was the one. It had everything: original wood beams, a fireplace that worked, a big yard for the dog we'd been talking about getting. The previous owner had been an elderly woman who'd passed away. Her family wanted a quick sale. The realtor was straight with us: they were practically giving it away. We didn't ask why. That was our first mistake. Part 2: The Little Things. For the first few months, everything was perfect. Then we started noticing little things. Doors that we'd closed would be open in the morning. Lights we'd turned off would be on. My wife would set her coffee cup on the counter, leave the room for a minute, and come back to find it on the table across the kitchen. We laughed about it at first, joked that the house had ghosts. We stopped laughing the night we both heard footsteps walking across the upstairs hallway, from the bedroom, where we were both lying in bed. Above us, in a one-story bedroom on the top floor. There was no one up there. Part 3: The Door. I started spending more time in the basement. I told my wife I was setting up a workshop. Really, I was looking for explanations, wiring issues, pipes that might be making the strange sounds, anything rational. That's when I found it. Behind a tall metal shelf that I assumed was bolted to the wall, I noticed a small gap. The shelf wasn't flush with the concrete. I pulled it forward. There was a door behind it. Small, maybe 4 feet tall, painted the same dull grey as the basement walls, almost camouflaged. No handle, just a flat black square where the handle should have been. I'd never noticed it before, not in 6 months of doing laundry down there. I pulled out the house blueprints we'd been given at closing. The blueprints showed a solid concrete wall in that exact spot. There was no door. Part 4: What was behind it? I should have just left it. I should have pushed the shelf back, gone upstairs, forgotten about it. But I'm an idiot, so I pried it open. The door swung inward into pitch-black darkness. Cold air rushed out, the kind of cold that doesn't belong in a basement in summer, the kind of cold that feels wrong against your skin. I turned on my phone flashlight. The room behind the door was small, maybe 6 feet by 6 feet. The walls were lined with old wallpaper, yellowed, peeling, with a faded floral pattern. In the center of the floor was a child's rocking chair. It was rocking. Slow, steady, back and forth, like someone had just gotten out of it. There was no one in the room. There was no draft, the air was completely still. But that chair was rocking. Part 5: I found the photos. I slammed the door shut, pushed the shelf back in front of it, went upstairs and didn't tell my wife. That night I couldn't sleep. I went down to the basement at 2 a.m. with a hammer. I told myself I was going to nail the door shut. But when I moved the shelf again, I found something I hadn't seen before. A small wooden box on the floor, right next to where the door was. Inside was a stack of photographs. Old, black and white, maybe from the 1940s or 50s. Every photo showed the same little girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old, sitting in the rocking chair I'd just seen. In every photo, she was looking directly at the camera. In every photo, she was crying. And in the very last photo at the bottom of the stack, the rocking chair was empty. But the room behind it wasn't. There were dozens of small handprints on the wallpaper. All at child height. All facing inward, like someone had been pressing their hands against the walls from the inside. Outro. We sold the house 6 weeks later. I never told my wife what I found. I never told the realtor either. I bricked up the door myself in the middle of the night, then put the shelf back in front of it. I told myself someone else's problem now, not mine. But sometimes I drive past that house. I see the family that lives there now, 2 parents, a little girl. She's about 6. She likes to play in the basement. I want to warn them. I never do. If this gave you chills, subscribe for more real stories. What's the strangest thing you've ever found in a house you lived in? Drop it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.